one thing that I really like. That's my mom. Now, number two that I really like is fishing. That's why this episode of the Randomized podcast is strictly dedicated to fishing. This is hunting. Don't pay attention to the shirt. It's hunting. But anywho, we're going to be talking about fishing baits. We're going to be talking about all that type of stuff. You know why? Because fishing matters to me. And if you guys want to get into fishing, then you guys can get into fishing. And this will be a kickstart guide to your fishing career. So without further ado, let's jump in. So for fishing, you're going to want lots of different types of baits. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We're going to jump into top water first. Now, top water, we got frogs. This guy's missing his eyes, but he's still the main. He's got this one eye. That's it. He's only got one eye. But this right here, as you guys can see, the mouth is kind of curved in. When you pull it in the water's going to spit. So it's going to be like through the water. Frogs are great for lily pads. Frogs, usually you're going to want to run these guys close to the bank, just dragging it along. So if this is the water, you're going to want to pop them, pop, 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 and just let them sit. So then the action can be fully appreciated by the fish. So your whole chance with these frogs is meant to bite. Now, popper frogs is what these are called. And we got regular frogs. So these type of frogs, as you guys can see, do not have the mouth like the popper frog does. These types of frogs are great for lily pads. You're gonna want to just walk them through it. Just tap, 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 tap. Pull your rod just barely. Just tap, 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 tap. So you're gonna want smaller frogs. You're gonna want bigger frogs. You're gonna want different colored frogs. You're going to want different types of frogs. So you got like a whole bunch of different types of frogs that you're going to need to help get everything in appreciation for all the frogs. So, yeah, now we have covered frogs. Now it's time to cover something else. Pardon me, I'm just taking off this swim bait. We're going to talk about spooks. What are spooks? Spooks are things that you walk through the water. As you guys can see, this got lots of rattle inside of it. And let's see. Sorry. Hold on. So spooks are things that you walk through the water. They look kind of like torpedoes. They're pretty big, but since these guys are gonna float, these guys are gonna float on top of the water, kind of like this, kind of settling down. And then you're gonna walk, and they're gonna kind of look like this when they're walking on top of the water. When you walk it correctly, it's gonna wobble. So you got again different size spooks. This guy's just a smidge smaller. And so you should try collecting different types of baits so then you can try different things. So let's say you need these are not top water, this is a jerk bait. So when you're in the water, you take your rod and you toink, 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 and you're just gonna jerk it and it's gonna go and then and it's just gonna keep moving in a kind of like a direction. Or you can reel it in and it'll go like this. When you're reeling in a jerk bait, you want to keep it nice and even. Unless you're jerking it, then you're going to want to pop it. And that jerk bait will go wee, wee, and just keep it in the same direction. So you can get, again, there's lots of different sizes. Then they all come with a jerk bait sometimes has 3 hooks on it, sometimes has 2. It just depends on how big it is. Now you gotta make sure that you keep everything organized because that's always nice to have things organized. So then you can find it when you're fishing. Now this is a swim bait. It's another underwater bait. You just gotta learn these guys when you're reeling them in, add a little bit of wobble to your rod, and it'll look like these guys are swimming through the water. As you guys can see, it's got joints in it. Those joints have the ability to move and move. And when you're reeling them in, a little bit of swim action. So you got swim baits like this. This is a bluegill where it's got really nice joints on it. Then you got swim baits like this multiple jointed again, and look, this guy got a little black spot on him. And you can get some swim baits that have solid tails. Right now, I like the paintbrush tails, clean off dust off of everything. And then another close relative to the swim bait is the glide bait. Now, these guys, you got to toss and then you're going to pull and then just jerk it just slightly because this guy doesn't have as many joints. So this guy just swims in a whole bunch of different directions. So jerk and he'll go, then jerk, and then he'll come back to you. Now, this guy does actually have a piece of fabric instead of metal joints like this bluegill. So the fabric, can it rip? Sometimes. But if you play correctly, fish will bite, hopefully, the treble hook that's hidden inside of it. Now, do not run it like this, it'll get snagged on weeds. So it's got a little clip right there that you can push it in and then clip it into. So then you got the treble hook in a place where it's not going to be too terrible. The treble hook will keep everything nice and ordinary, and but when you're running this, you got to remember keep everything smooth, not super jumpy. Next up, we got another topwater, a Chapo. These are one of my personal favorites. Here's why a Chapo is good, because you can run them at day and at night. Those are the two main hot times for fishing, and those are the two main hot times for topwater. As you guys can see, it's got a little propeller on it. That propeller will whopper plopper. That's what makes it to the water. So I got my favorite color is the bone. That's tied up to one of my rods right now. But I do enjoy having this guy just handy dandy. Always have a couple chopos so then you can have the ability. So I got a bubblegum pink one right here. Just to kind of tangled. You got to be careful because they get tangled kind of easy. Again, with the treble hooks, these guys will hook you in a second and not be forgiving. So you got a hot pink one. Again, different sizes. This guy's about as heavy as the pink one, but they all got different casting abilities. You can hear it. And then we got this Ozark Trail one. Ozark Trail is a good brand for some things. He's a little cracked, but as long as he's still whopper ploppers and it's completely fine, that's okay. The fish will still bite it because they like it. Also, another topwater guy is a popper. Now, you guys might be saying that looks kind of like the frog. It got the same mouth, but not the same action. These guys you can run in straight open water. This guy you can run in lily pads. As you guys can see, also for a frog, the hooks are hidden. You got to press down. There's the hooks. Yeah. So you won't get hooked as easy unless you like cast into your face and then like that. Nothing big. But this guy has open hooks. Then he's got the little feather on the back. The feather just keeps everything, like, kind of makes it as extra detail. It'll get wet and then it'll pull into one. So when you pull it, it's going to be kind of like a stick. If you guys have ever used shiners when it's in the water, the shiners have a skirt on it to make it look more appeasing. Next up, this is a topwater chatterbait. This is a chatterbait right here. Topwater's amazing because the reason why I like topwater is because you never know when the fish are going to hit. And you can watch as many scary stuff as you want. But when a topwater fish hits, it's unexpected and you're scared. So this is a Hellraiser. Kind of, this guy has a little bit of a wonkier frame. He's got a big blade in the back and then a very small front. And the string gets tied on from underneath. So this guy, when he's going like this in the water. This blade is catching, going crazy. And that's kind of what the chatterbait does. The chatterbait, when it's in the water, is getting pulled like this. And this blade is up and rotating like this, making a nice clicking sound for fish. And fish will be like, oh, sweet. You can also get big blades. Now, big blades work a little better than the smaller blades because the big blades will grab the water just a little easier and it'll make more vibrations. So then fish are more prone to be like, that looks delicious. I want to eat it. Chop chatterbaits are really good. I love chatterbaits, and I love a lot of baits. But every fisherman knows that no matter how many baits you have, eventually one's going to come out on top. What bait came out on top for me? Spinner baits. Now, spinner baits are really good at one time a year, spawning. Now, you use them at other times aside from spawning? Very much so. But when fish are spawning, they got a whole bunch of baby fish. That's what these blades are. Whole bunch of baby fish. So you got a little bit of shine from this guy and a little bit of shine from this guy. When you're dragging it and you're reeling it, all the blades are spinning and it looks and it catches the sun and it flashes. And when it flashes, the fish see flashing as a baby fish and then they want to eat it. And then they'll go after this guy too. So that's about 3 fish in all on this one bait that fish are be more prone to bite. Now, this is my favorite spinnerbait. He's a little broken right now. There's nothing that I can do against it. Fish hit it, caught on a lily pad, like all that type of stuff. It just is wear and tear on these guys. But this Z-Man spinnerbait is the best spinnerbait that you can get. I like the bluegill color, but the gray color is also really good. And they got a big variety, but yeah. But I like those two colors, smoky gray and um bluegill. Then we got this guy, lipless crankbait. We'll catch more on lipless crankbaits. But for right now, these guys have something very special to them. These guys are meant to look like the Excalibur one knockers. Now, those guys aren't getting manufactured anymore. So they are kind of really rare to find. So these baits got the exact same paint job as the Excalibur does. They apparently this is a one knocker, just like the Caliber, but it does not have the same knocking sound as the Excalibur. So it sure the Excalibur is still the best, but they do not have the same. It might look like it, but it's not. So you got to make sure the Excalibur will have Excalibur written on it, and the Booyah will have the Booyah written on it. Will they both catch fish? Yes. But one is better than the other, and that would go to the Excalibur. Excalibur was the best lipless crankbait I've ever had. Also, fishermen out there, you can love all your baits, but you got one favorite out of every single bait. So, like, you got an underwater bait that yours go to. That for me is a shiner. On your top water go tos, I like the Chopos. Chopos have the best action, and they also have some of the most blowups. And I love blowups on top water. It just makes me feel good inside. Frogs are really good too. Do I use them that much? Sometimes if I'm in a whole bunch of lily pads, but I don't normally use the frogs. I like fishing open water with these Chopos. But yeah, now that we've covered, I don't got that much more um, top water baits. But if you guys are looking for a good bait, get the spinner baits by Z-Man. Really good. They're really affordable, and they will catch you lots of fish. One of the spooks is acting up. Next up, we got underwater baits. So, first bait that I laid eyes on when I opened this up is the good old fashioned Bill Lewis rattle trap. Really nice rattle to it. And the rattle will make a lot of difference. If you got a good rattle, the fish hear that rattle, just like the chatterbait, it causes disturbance. So the fish want to see out what is that disturbance? It's that, and then they'll bite it. So I got a baby guy. That is a crawfish. We run that just right on the edge. Got baby rattles in it. And I've caught pickerel on this guy because pickerel will eat anything that fits in their mouth. And this guy also looks like a crayfish. So yeah, we got Bill Lewis and baby crayfish. Then we got another guy, another shiner. This is the Strike Man, Strike King, and it's got two oval spinners on it. I do not like that. And if you are going to get a spinner bait, get one that has a oval, two ovals, or an oval and a spinner and diamond. I think that's what they call it. A big blade and a little blade. But as you guys can see, this is another Strike King, and this one has a gold and a silver, so it covers a lot of colors, so then it makes the fish more, wow, that's cool. And when the fish see this, just run these guys slow enough where the blades are spinning, but just fast enough where the fish aren't suspicious that it's not a fish. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? So, when you are running these guys, just run these baits nice and slow, just over top the bottom. Run these guys closer to the bottom. When you run these baits closer to the bottom, it will make a much bigger difference. On a little bit of a sunnier day, run these a little in between the bottom and the surface, just like right here. So then the sun can catch it and it's in the cooler water where the fish aren't getting too hot and too cold. Right in the center, like shade and sun. Find where the shade hits and the sun hits. So then, right at that crack is where the fish love the most. Because you're going to be a shiny thing moving into something like a darker area where the bass won't be able to be seen as easy. So, sure, the shining will stop, but the fish will keep eyes on this bad boy because they're already going to be ready to eat it. So, these guys are really great. And I love, like I said, spinnerbaits. So, yeah, we've covered a lot of spinnerbaits. I also do like a good old fashioned white spinnerbait, just like this. Ghost white, run that in darker water, and it will make a huge difference. Now, this is another, that's a strike king. And then we got a little bit of chatterbaits. So this is the chatterbait elite. Now, I don't know what the difference is. I do know that with the differences of the guy that I showed you guys, this one is the original chatterbait. I know that this guy is the Evo. Now, as you guys can see, also with the head difference, get off there. All them big get stuck together. The head difference on all these baits. Let me get you guys lined up so then I can show you guys. The head difference is so much different, and you can tell. So you got the OG spinnerbait head, then you got the Evo spinnerbait head, and then you got the Elite spinnerbait. So all of these guys have different heads. This guy's just a plain. This guy's got some detail on it, and this guy's got just the eye. So everything is different. They're just working to find everything. So if you find a Z-Man Big Blade, it's a little bit on the more expensive side, but it'll make more of a ruckus so then fish are more prone to bite. So yeah, lighter chatterbaits are good in darker water. Darker chatterbaits are better in lighter water because it just adds a little bit of confusion. That's a big ball of hooks. Next up, we got another good one. These ones are good for, I like using these guys in like rivers and stuff like that. Crankbaits. These guys have the bill on it. Usually, the bigger the bill, it'll go sometimes deeper, sometimes shallower, depending on the bill. Sometimes it'll go like this. And when it's going down, it's rattling like this. And once you get on the bottom, it'll wiggle just on the bottom. And that will be like a crawfish, and the bass or whatever fish wants to eat it will come up, caught. So we got this guy right here. So these are the chatterbaits, not chatterbaits. These are the crankbaits. Now, different size crankbaits can make different noises. This guy right here is a bigger crankbait, and he's a little deeper. You can hear that he's got some little beads in him, and the little beads will make a little bit of a lighter pitch, but he's got bigger balls inside of it, so it's making a little bit of a darker. Then we got this guy. Get off. This guy has not much in him. He's kind of little. This guy doesn't have any at all. So sometimes there'll be some, but sometimes the rattle of them just jiggling in the water is all that it takes. This guy right here, not gonna lie, this is the Ozark Trail one, and it kind of feels like he was 3D printed. He also sounds kind of like he was 3D printed. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Sounds like he was kind of 3D printed, but that's okay. And then we got this guy. This guy's got, you can sometimes see inside of them, as you guys can see, there's the ball right there that jiggles and makes noise. And then, far be it for me to leave out one of my babies. This is the baby booyah. And these guys I love because they're so tiny and fish want to eat them because they're tiny. So, you know, you can't sometimes also big popper. I will probably come out with a video on that. Then we got one of the last guys is we got spoons. Spoons are when you throw them into the water, and they'll float down. And then once they get on the bottom, you pop them up, and they'll float back down, kind of like a wacky rig. Spoons are really helpful for pickerel. Pickerel love these guys. Pop it up, and it'll sink back down. And when it's sinking, that's when fish like to bite it and go crazy. Next up, we got buzzbait. Hey, random. So, yeah, you're here. You made it. So these are buzzbaits. Buzzbaits, I did a poll. Buzzbaits are better than chatterbaits in people's opinions. I like chatterbaits, but buzzbaits can be used as top water. And if you run them slow enough, they can go underwater. So they got this big old blade on it. It'll pop in the water. So I got a baby guy. I got a big boy. And then I got a chatterbait looking one that's like this. I don't know how I'm going to use that guy. You're a fisher too? That's sick, bro. What's your biggest fish that you've ever caught? And what'd you catch it on? But the fish love disturbance in the water. Now, if you jump in, fish aren't going to try biting at you. They're going to be scared of you because you're big. But if it's little enough, just like one of these, and harmless enough, like a little one of these, it's causing disturbance on the water. Kind of like, thank you, dude. That means a lot, bro. So, actually, I'm going to pin you right now. Let's see. Pin message. You just got pinned. So, when you have something like this, sometimes it'll be like a duck. So I've seen multiple stuff of bass eating ducks. They will eat ducks. And also, so this type of stuff will make them suspicious of it and then they want to bite it. With that new urchin type of lure, that new lure makes them suspicious of it. And when they get suspicious of it, they just bite it. Because bass are like, suspicious? Thank you so much, bro. That means a lot. When they get suspicious of something, Bass's brain, they go, we're gonna eat it because we're suspicious of it. So if you toss that straight near a toss that near a nest or something and pop it, like that urchin, pop, 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 it will bite it because it's a threat. So again, we got the other version of the one knocker. Now this is they got what's it called? Going kind of crazy right now. This one I'm pretty sure is the watermelon one. Now he's got a nice purple on him. And again, just like this red guy, they followed after the one knocker. They got a one knocker. They got oh, they got the knocker symbol on them. That little K right there. And then that little K right there. So that proves that they got a one knocker in them. They got both got the booyahs, but they're not one knockers. They're not Excaliburs. Like I said before, Excalibur was the best lipless crankbait that I've ever seen. My brother caught an almost 10 pounder. It was like 9.5 off it. So it's crazy how one big fish will go after a tiny fish like that. Even big fish like little baits. But yes, if you guys are planning on going fishing, know what place you're fishing at too. Because if you're fishing in a full of weeds pond, I would fish, if the weeds are about that far off the surface, fish with a little bit of top water. That'll make a big difference. Whopper plopper, buzz bait, any of that type of stuff. If you want to use a shiner, you can use a shiner. Some shiners like this, let me get it. I got a lot of shiners. Shiners like this will have this thing right here. That's like that acts as a weed guard so then it can push through. It's kind of in line. Wait, let me lift it up. Lift up these blades. It's kind of in line with the hook. So then it can push through the weeds just enough where it can last. But I do not recommend running these in weeds because they can get caught and snagged and it can bend the frame of the spinnerbait. I've had it happen. And your uncle had to get in the water to get the fish. What type of fish was it? But when you're running through the water, run these slow enough where the fish, thank you. When you're running these things through the water, you got to be patient. Fish will not bite anything that they think is abnormal unless it threatens their nest. Like when you're fishing with a worm. So for right now, I just got these worms out. Never caught anything on them, but I do plan on catching a fish on this in a YouTube video. But if you don't fish it correctly and they bite it, I got a tick on me. If a fish bites this and it feels different, it's going to spit it out, which is crazy. But those fish are Einstein. Fish are not dumb, but they definitely are not that smart. So they're like, "Hey," they're kind of dumb. They're kind of dumb. They'll bite a lot of things, like, but you got to just learn how to be one with the fish. You got to learn, you got to test different baits. Even if that means every 5 casts, you got to swap out of bait. Also, that's another thing. I do not use swivels because swivels can turn over and the bait can lose its action. If I'm fishing with one of these lip, whatever it's called, lipless crankbaits, sometimes a swivel will flip over and then it's dragging through the water just weird. Whopper ploppers have a torpedo shape. So if it gets flipped over in the water, so if it's and it gets flipped over, that can still whoop, it gets flipped over in the water. This, the whopper plopper part, just got hooked. Stupid. Anyway, you're a champ in Rocket League? Dude, that is sick. Hey, my name is Can Jam Askett. Sounds just like you say. CanJamAndAISKP. Maybe we could play sometime. What do you mostly play at? Anywho, when you are running, even if it gets flipped over like this will still spin. It'll still catch water. You're Unreal in Fortnite? I'm more of a Rocket League dude. I don't usually play Fortnite, but that's pretty cool. Anywho, if you flip over, it's still gonna whopper plop, and fish can still bite it. Yeah, I can put it in the chat. Let's see. Um, I'm looking for a piece of paper to write it down on. Nice. Did you get a headache? Because when I play for too long, I get a headache, and I can't do that. I can't play for 10 hours. That's just crazy. I can't. I will get a headache. But yeah, if you're gonna fish, also time for a little bit of a worms, real quick. I don't know how many of you guys. All right, see you, dude. Thanks for subscribing. Means a lot. So, when you are fishing, I don't even know what that is. You got multiple different types of way to rig up a uh, worm. Worms are great. I love worms, but for starters, you got wacky rig. You need this. I don't know how to put my name in. Let's see. How can I? Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how to pin this. Dude, the highest I ever got was plat. I mostly grinded on Rumble, but the highest that I got was plat, and then I played against some freakishly crazy people, and I lost my plat. And yeah, I mostly play on the weekends. That's like the greatest. So you get one of these. You got to get a special hook, not a. This is a swim bait hook. Swim bait hooks are great for swim baits, but this guy is more thin. So you take your worm, a regular Cinco, and you just hook it straight through the middle, like that. That's not really middle, but you get the point. You hook it close to the center, so then it looks kind of like that. When you cast it out and you pop it along the floor, it'll add a little bit of motion. Pop, 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 and wiggle. And fish cannot resist a wiggling worm. Just jiggle, 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 jiggle. I once was reeling it in, and a fish just came up. I gave him PTSD. We don't talk about that though. Anywho, I love this worm. I love the little glow in the dark, not glow in the dark, but nice neon yellow tail. Looks amazing. Fish will fall for it. And I also like a little bit of a darker worm, so then it looks kind of like a leech because bass love leeches. And I do not, however. But the bass will bite anything wormy if you rig it correctly. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can show you guys how to rig up a bass hook. Now, what happened? I used to have a whole bunch of bass hooks. Now they're gone. I don't know how they disappeared, but they disappeared, which happens to every fisherman. I had bass hooks once, and then now you don't. I got a lot of swim bait hooks. That's it. Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? We're gonna do the tiniest Texas rig ever. Hey, you're back. We're gonna do the tiniest Texas rig ever. Okay. We're so far looking pretty good. And 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 where's the hook? Somebody give me a plaque from Guinness. I did it. I did it. I did it. Came out. You learn some things. You can get bored kind of easy when you're fishing, but there you go. You got the hook right there, and you got your string tied right there. We did it. That is a Texas rig. Somebody get me a Guinness Book of World Records because this is greatness. It's not going to catch anything, but it deserves. No, I'm not live in Idaho. Oh, and no, I do not live in Idaho. I live in beep. Classified. Anywho, then, like I said, wacky rig, straight through the side. Looks amazing to fish. That's a little off-sided wacky rig. Sometimes people will do ball and chains, like I'm pretty sure they're like Carolina rigs, which are ball and chains. You got swim bait hooks, which let's see if I got swim baits in my bag. Be right back. Boom, I got a swim bait. Now this will be like the first time that I ever really rigged up a swim bait. Do not judge, please. But you're gonna take it and you're gonna screw it into. Oh, sweet dude. What type of motorcycle does he have? That's your sister's account? Yup. And the fish is, yeah, good point. That's probably too big for the. We're going to want something a little smaller. You want something that'll make it where? Could never trust the pantaloon. We're going to go for something different. Let's see if I got another swim bait in here. Nope. I'm going crazy right now. Okay, forget it. We'll figure out something. Let's see. How does that look? Too big. Again, too big. Tell me why. That guy out looks good. That's the worst part about having a whole bunch of hooks is you're gonna get hooked, and then it's like my terminal tackle. It's not that. Got so much. All right, we got a hook. So pretty sure. Don't judge. This is my first time that I ever really got rigged up one of these. Let's see. You go in just like that. That should be good. Here we go. You're gonna go straight through the nose, and you gotta You got that little weight. You got to push it over. Usually they say wet the hook, but I don't got a whole bunch of water near me, and I only got coffee, and I'm not wasting coffee. Lost a worm. And did I do this wrong? No, I did it wrong. It's like that's oh gosh. Hang in there, little dude. I'm trying to figure out how to do this correctly. I do not use swim baits a lot. If it comes down to it, I would. But okay, I think I might have just gotten it. Okay. Push it through. It ate it. Okay, we're looking a little better now. Thank you. Now, this is this is why I don't use swim baits, is because it takes so long to rig up. Well, that's as good as I'm gonna leave it. Stick that hook in it a little kind of right there. Nice little swim bait. Should jog through the water kind of nice. Yay! But who knows? So yeah, if you guys ever see this, you could use it. This probably for Texas rigs. That could be kind of sick. Hang on, let me get my worm. We're gonna do a quick test run real quick to see if these worms, if these hooks can work for a Texas rig. So you're gonna stick it in. Also, if you guys do not know how to rig up a Texas rig, you're just gonna put it in about stick it in and then out. Do that much. Got that much. Push it over the weight. Dude, I might have just been onto something. Y'all, we might be onto something. We're gonna loosen that up just a little bit, make it look a little natural. Dude, we might be onto something. Could that work? It's a little loose, but could that work? Could I catch a fish on a swim bait hook Texas rig? That could be a next video. Thank you, dude. Oh, you're back, bro? Boom. That might need to be another video. Also, I plan on trying to catch a fish on one of these worms. Do you guys think that I could catch a fish on a 1 foot long worm? Thank you, dude. Now, this is also another crazy question. These are random questions. Do you guys chew on soft plastic fishing baits like this? Gonna grab a worm. To get salt. Now, some people think that's crazy. It does make you just a regular old Cinco. It does make you drool a lot. Hang on a second, real quick. It'll make you drool a lot, so you got to spit a lot. But yeah, all right, we settled it. You do chew on fishing baits. Some fishermen do. Let's see. I got a a Boo Garcia Max Stick reel on a broken rod right now. So I'm kind of waiting to see what type of rods I'll get. I got a dock runner. Also, by the way, I don't know if you guys use mini rods. It's only about that yay big, but it's amazing. It'll catch. If you guys go check out my YouTube channel, I caught a nice 2 pound bass on it. And then I use a Cast King, no, a KVD on, dang it, I forgot which one that is. And then a spinning reel, a Boo Garcia spinning reel. But I do not know what type of rods they use, but I do know that they are KVD. So wait, what was that guy? What was that? Cast King? Strike King. A Strike King reel, a Boo Garcia, two Abu Garcia reels, and then a dock runner. But I could probably go run and get it real quick. But then you guys would be staring at this view. So, but yeah, Wacky Rig hooks. Wacky Rig is goated. Some people say it's a cheat code. I do not believe it's a cheat code. If it was a cheat code, it would be banned from fishing. That is salty as all get out, and I'm gonna. That is a salty bait. We're gonna get rid of. That's crazy. That's salt, dude. That's bye. But yeah, but when you're also fishing, these are drop shot. I can't open my terminal tackle. These are drop shot hooks, and oh, so yeah, one of my rods lost its eyelets, which was super sad. It made me snap off one of my most expensive baits, so I had to completely leave it, and it's just hectic. But yeah, make sure that your rods are in top shape before you go fishing. It could really be detrimental to a lot if you have a faulty rod when you're fishing. Let's see. Oh wow, good grief! It's 40 minutes. You're the only one here, bro. Says that we got 3 people watching. I don't know, but yeah. Well, I think this might be the end of the live stream. I've covered a lot. If you guys do not have a fish scale, if you guys want to get a fish scale, get a Rapala. This fish scale is amazing. It's got really good screen on it. This is a Rapala. It's got a really nice screen on it. No, they do not sponsor this video, sadly, but you can see it pretty clear. 10-pound bass. Okay, so yeah. Well, see you guys. Well, I gotta run. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys are not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. It'd mean a lot. And I will see you guys in the next